Not mortal instruments. Mortal engines.
What's Mortal Instruments? Is that a different one?
Yeah, it's a different YA. They got a movie, then no one saw the movie, and they went, no, we can still do this. And then it got a TV show.
And nobody watched a TV show.
No, I think the TV show got more than one season.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think a new season's coming out of the TV show.
Oh, wow. Good for them. I remember going to the movies panel because it happened at the same time as a different panel we wanted to go to. And we're all just like, this sucks. Can you get to the good movies?
So wait, they have tattoos, kind of like in X-Men, that other X-Men, I forgot.
I don't remember.
The one that I don't like, X-Men 3.
Isn't it just called X-Men 3?
No, it's called...
Oh, The Last Stand?
Yeah.
There it is.
We're like, where are your markings?
Where are you marking?
That's not a thing.
Oh my god, that movie's terrible.
It really is.
Wow, we're already
Speaking
to let's talk about any other movie than the movie we're talking about.
Speaking of terrible.
John picked a doozy for a movie for this week, and my god.
This is the last time I picked blindly, man.
Scar in this. There isn't tattoos.
No,
there's a facial scar.
There is a facial scar.
Yeah. No, this is the last time I picked blindly, guys. Seriously. Ugh.
Ooh, I know. I my blind pick's coming up. If it's got to be better than this. Like, we know what the bar is. My God, I was somewhat looking forward to this movie. I wanted to go see it in theaters.
Same. I missed it in the theaters, and I was sad.
Yeah.
I always looked at the billboard coming home from work because it was right on the corner of Lancashire and Cahuenga.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not good. The marketing campaign was terrible. I'm like, no one's going to see the movie based off that.
No, it just kind of looked like Emily Blunt's daughter with a red scarf.
And it's just I think they were trying to go for propaganda poster look.
Well, that could be.
They did it poorly. It didn't capture. It looked cheap. It didn't get anyone interested.
No, it really didn't. And if you watch the movie, good. If they got a lot of people interested, there've been a lot of people very mad at the money they spent.
I feel like the YA audience this was directed towards might have been interested.
Okay, before we get too far into it, we should let John do a breakdown. I didn't have time for Aware of They've Been Doing. I'm assuming John did not either because he's been working like a madman at his job. Am I correct?
Madman.
No, I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
There was a few other ones I'd planned on, but man, when you get done at around 8 or 9 at night, you're just like, I don't want to do anything but Persona 5. So
I hear that. Like, I've been prepping for the episode we're recording for Welcome to Your Doom. Tune in on Friday, or tomorrow, I should say. And for that episode, and that has been taking all of my other Hugo Weaving time because I had to watch 12 movies in a week. This is a lot. Okay, so we'll dive right into Mortal Engines. John, do you want to give us a quick breakdown before we start trying to be nice to this movie?
Yes. So cities eat other cities on wheels, and it's
nom, nom, nom.
London is this big giant like city on wheels that just eats everyone in its path to steal their resources. And there's a girl with a scar, and she does some shit. I don't know. There's also a guy from Umbrella Academy who is sober, and it was weird. Yeah, it was weird seeing him sober. And they're supposed to be interested in each other, but who cares? But wow, like cities in the sky that look really cool, amazing. London as a city on wheels, like a mechanized city, that looks really cool. I think it's just a movie about scene hopping from one scene to the next in a world that looks great, but with characters we don't give a shit about.
And
because honestly, I have a hard time remembering the plot because it involves like some Medusa laser gun breaking down a wall, and Hugo Weaving trying his best to be interested in what he's doing.
Oh man, like don't get me wrong. I think Hugo Weaving did a fine job in this movie, but coming off a month of Jamie Lee Curtis where she doesn't know how to phone in a performance compared to this, it's like, oh, this is how you do it. Now I remember. He tries. He tries.
I still think Hugo, every time somebody challenged him on being terrible, he hit that face of, you don't know how terrible I can be.
Yeah, like I said, he had good moments, and I think he did a good job with what he had, but what he had was a pile of poo. He's like, what do you want me to do with this
pile of poo.
And they're like,
what shall I do with this pile of poo? Says Hugo Weaving.
To you. Yeah, I don't have a lot of nice things to say about this movie. This movie will join the very short list of this. And I can't remember the name of that one with George Clooney, Brad Bird movie, Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah, Tomorrowland.
Yeah, this
I never saw that.
Tomorrowland and a couple others. I can't remember the names of like movies that my brain was actively deleting while I was watching it. They're just like, nope, you don't need it. Nope. I'm like, I hate this movie, and my brain's like, me too, dude. Don't worry, scrubbing it clean. So we watched this movie 2 nights ago, over 2 nights, and yeah, I don't remember a lot of it.
I didn't hate it as much as you do.
This movie's in like the bottom of the barrel, my least favorite movie I've watched in 2020. Like there was just something about this movie that just rubbed me the wrong way. And I think I know what it is. After having a day to stew on it and think about it, I think I know what it is. And it's more of like I'm insulted by the movie in a weird way. That might be the wrong way to phrase it, but let me explain. I think the world building in this movie, the world that they're in of these huge mechanical, steampunk cities on wheels that can drive super fast and they can eat cities for energy and to keep their citizens alive. On top of that, you have these like rebels and you have robot dads and all this just crazy bananas shit. And when it's like humming along, it's like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. Like this is a YA world that I can get into. I can sink my teeth into, and like it's really cool and well made, and I'm interested to see how it works. And then the story they tell is the most bland, run-of-the-mill, garbage YA nonsense that I'm just like, what are you doing with my time? Like, you have something cool here, do something with it. And they're like, no. She likes a boy, but she has scars, so she's not sure if he'll like her.
I think it's a little bit better than that. It's not full Katniss.
Katniss is a far better character than anyone in this movie. And I do not like Katniss, but my God, is she a better character.
She's a better writer, and the movies had a better director.
Mm-hmm.
Character, Hester felt,
Shaw.
for the most part, she wasn't interested in romance at all. She just wanted to kill Valentine. And the whole idea of the romance didn't really happen until late in the movie, honestly.
Late in the movie, we're like, oh shit, we forgot. Boy, girl, they love each other. We'll have a robot dad be like, you love him, don't you? And she just won't say anything. So, like, we know it's coming.
Right. Say it without saying anything, so she's not quite caught in a stuck
no reason
with
for
this
her
guy.
To love him.
No. With this guy? No.
Yeah.
This guy's such a waste of space.
It's funny that you mentioned, like, everything you just did, Brian, because, yeah, I was really excited to see this movie because, A, I missed it and was really looking for something that wasn't the usual like comic book movie or Star Wars thing. I wanted something a little bit different, like different worlds, but still imaginative and very vibrant and like skyship, steampunky things. That was the energy I wanted. And when it started, I kind of got that a little bit at the beginning, like as London eats the that small shopping town or small market town.
Right.
Like there's hints of that there, but they cut in between. Like they keep cutting in between these characters who are just. They're irritating upon frame one. It's like, who's this person? I hate him. Who's this person? I hate them. Why are they joking right now? I hate them. I don't like any of the characters. But then, like, this city of London is so well realized in just a few frames that, like, I kept having this roller coaster experience in the movie of just being really jazzed about the world that we're in, and then being forced to look away from such. I mean, the scenery work, the background design, this location design is just amazing, like imaginative, and then to focus on these dipshits, it's weird and frustrating.
I really feel like this could have been a property better served as being adapted into an anime.
Oh yeah.
The characters almost look like they were referencing anime when they were designing things, especially like the random girl with the big red hair. Like, why do you make a character look like that unless she's supposed to be important in some way, but then she does nothing?
But even like the character Anna Fang is just Auron from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Like it's just the exact same character design. The red coat, the glasses, the black hair, the sword. It's just like, this is the same character. I mean, it's gender bent, but
And the coats that
Right.
the historians wear on London reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist.
I could see that. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And like, this is just it could have been good if it was an anime series, because they would have actually been able to tap into that YA-ness more,
Or just give
and
it
they
to
just
somebody.
give it more time than the singular film.
Just give it to somebody who has experience with animation. Like there's some, especially a movie like this where 95% of it is going to be animated anyways. Like this is one of the few times where like I don't mind special effects heavy films. In fact, a lot of them I flock to. I loved Valerian when that came out, and that movie's a mess, but I still have a great time watching it. But you need to have somebody who can work in this world, who can work like animation. Get somebody like Brad Bird. I mentioned him earlier. Like somebody who can do that. This is a first-time director. It's a storyboard artist.
Yeah.
You couldn't have found a worse person to light this off. Like
Apparently he did second unit or something, pickup directing, something like that on the Hobbit movies. So that was
not a great place to start. Those suck.
Yeah. So he had a little bit of experience, but it is an example of just because you're really good friends with a really good director doesn't mean you're going to be a really good director.
But even like Peter Jackson, when he went for the full animated thing, his movies fell apart. When he still had the mixture, like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, then it was amazing. Like working in a fully digitized world is not easy for most directors.
Or
actors. It's a very difficult thing to pull off, and I feel like a lot of people think it's easy because you don't have to go build those sets, and it's like, no. You need to have people convinced that they're in a world while they're standing in a warehouse around a whole bunch of green screens shouting nonsense at each other.
What's where the production design always comes in very important as being a character in a film. Because if you can't feel that character, you can't interact with that character.
Totally.
So if all you see is a green screen and puffy stuff to represent furniture or objects, you can't feel that character and you cannot adjust yourself accordingly. Like, it is so important to be able to feel your environment as its own self.
Oh, yeah. No, I found myself at various times curious, asking questions about the costumes, the props, the production design, because I was interested in what they were wanting to do with it. I wanted, like, for example, Airhaven, I think, that, gets torched pretty spectacularly.
It does.
There was a lot of things I was like,
totally needlessly.
It's like, dude, just talk to your foster dad. Just talk to him.
Talk to your robot dad. No, I'm going to run away and let everyone die in my wake.
Yeah, that's basically what happens.
Yeah, but still, I was very curious because they had signs being like, don't bring these types of things up here. They had like pilot wear and everything had a specific look to it, but we never got to spend enough time to figure out why, or figure out what the importance was. So like the historian uniforms, like what was the point of all the get up there? Like everything seemed so generic because we couldn't look at it long enough.
Oh,
like
then all the pilots that are insanely attractive and just kind of know it and stand there.
Oh yeah.
And you get the close-ups of them looking at each other as if you're supposed to really get a lot of like emotional investment out of the way they look at each other. And I'm like, I don't care about any of you.
There's a lot of posing.
Yeah, I just know that you're attractive. That's about it.
And characters are even introduced this way too, where they show up and be like, I'm important. And I'm like, who are you? And then when they die later in the movie, I'm like, who are you?
You get the long gazes. Oh, okay.
Right. So like when for example, the big offender for me was Anna Fang, I think her name is. When she shows up as if she's important. The screen like music stops or has a whoosh and it's important, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and Hester doesn't even know her.
No, so it reeks of that, like, oh man, fans of the book love this character, so we're gonna give her a grand entrance, and people will be like, oh shit, there she is. And for everyone who didn't read the book, it's like, okay, so I get that she's important.
And I was just irritated by the fact of like, wait, how old were you supposed to be? You were really good friends with her mom, but you didn't know her daughter, and you've been looking for her for a long time. But so wait,
yeah, so like even the casting is at fault, right? There because
you don't look it.
No,
yeah, like the casting's an issue there too, because if people don't age the same way, that's not something that we can just infer from this movie, other than like thinking this is a mistake. Like those Anna Fang and the main character, they look like they're the same age.
Totally.
So for the other one to know their mother doesn't make a lick of sense unless there's some anti-aging thing, or the atmosphere is different in the sky, or the wind blows all the wrinkles away as they fly. I don't know. Like, you start thinking about these things instead of the plot.
I mean, the actor they cast is what? You have it up on your phone.
She's
40.
39 or 40.
Yeah, I mean, she probably is older than the actor, but it's still just kind of than Hester. But still, it's like it's just weird casting. There's just so many things in this movie that could have worked, could have made it fun.
She is 9 years older.
Okay, so it would be weird for her to be best friends with her mom, but whatever. Fuck it.
I mean, she was best friends with her mom when she was 19, I guess.
I guess it's just one of those like. Is that really want to get hung up on this movie? Nah, fuck it. There's way bigger problems than the miscast there.
Yeah.
But it's things like Anna's character where it's like, okay, so we get that fans of the book probably really enjoy her, and maybe she's a really cool character, but instead we're just left with this girl who constantly just spouts this anime level, like not good anime. Not like we're not talking Cowboy Bebop. We're talking about like that. I guess it's on Hulu and it's free and. I guess that girl took her top off for some reason. Like that sort of level anime of just, you don't understand. I've been trying so hard for my whole life to win this war. I will ride the wings of freedom. It's like, what is she talking about?
I was once a slave.
Bleach called and wants his character back.
Especially like the fight that Anna Fang has at the end, where she is in a knife fight with Valentine, Hugo Weaving, on the catwalk, and she tells Hester to wait. I don't know, to see her get stabbed again or something? I don't really understand.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
and then
you don't know this, but I'm gonna get stabbed.
And then she tells Hester to leave. So
hang on, I'm gonna get stabbed. I'm gonna stab you. Can go. You can go.
You can go now. And then she just lets go into the mist, and I'm looking at her fall. I'm like, that's a shame.
I'm looking at her fall, going, someone's Gandalf the White.
She's gonna come back.
I don't know if I don't even know if there's a sequel to this book. I did zero research into Mortal Engines.
There's 4
books. I actually
so,
did because I was so just disappointed by this movie. I had to see.
Does she come back? Can one of you tell me?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Dang! So much for my Gandalf theory.
But there's 3 other books, and like it just seems to be more in the world, just dealing with stuff in the world, the politics of the world, and spending time in it. That's what I got from reading just a rough, like, quick through of each of the books. It was like they spend time in it, unlike the movie.
Yeah, and it's just the same. It's like with every death in the film. I was like, oh well. The same with like with Shrike. Like when he.
What the fuck was the point of Shrike? I keep referring to Shrike as Robo-Dad. I'm going to continue doing that from here on out.
He's played by Stephen Lang.
Great actor.
Yeah. See, he's Valentine for me because he looks like Valentine from Fallout 4, the
totally
robot detective.
He totally does.
But so when he finds out that Hester might be in love with a boy, he just shuts down.
Oh, you're in love with him, aren't you? I'll die then.
Yeah. And then he just goes down with the ship, and you're supposed to feel something big emotional with him. I'm like, I don't feel anything.
No.
And then every time one of the pilots went down, I didn't feel anything. When they were shooting the freaking wall, I didn't feel anything because we didn't get to know anyone on the wall.
No, it felt like it was like, oh, so you're trying to have your Helm's Deep moment here. I like that. I appreciate that.
But there's no battle.
Which is preceded by a graveyard of ships or like ground cities that look so cool as they're coming up to it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then so quickly, it's just like, who are these people?
No,
why do we care?
My first thought was, why would you build your entire civilization on the other side of a wall that other people apparently keep attacking?
Yeah, we need to keep attacking this wall. I'm going to build my house here. I want to raise my children here.
Maybe you should move a little bit further away from the wall.
Yeah, how about 10 feet away from the wall? Just give me 10 feet. No, on the wall. I want to live in the wall.
Yeah.
This seems like a terrible place to raise children. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things that as I'm watching this, it smacks like, there's probably a better explanation for this in the books, and something that like maybe is more sensical in that world, but we don't get that. We don't get that here. And it's the types of questions we ask ourselves instead of watching the movie. Just like, yeah, you should get off the wall. Why are you at the wall? Like, or are they there to fight for the wall?
We need to evacuate the wall. I'm like, everyone built their house there. How do you evacuate it?
Yeah, and if you look at
and
the
they're
wall,
evacuating they're evacuating like 1 minute before he shoots. It's like, wow, that's a really terrible governmental system that you got here.
Yeah, it's
like,
but even if you look at the wall, it looks like you can't evacuate that wall. All the houses aren't on top of each other. Like, what are you gonna do? Just jump out like horizontally?
They're gonna run away like they did in Fast 5.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
yeah, they've all got like hang gliders or something, and it's like, see ya.
That would have at least looked cool.
Yeah.
That would have looked really cool. And
You just came up with something better than was in the movie. Not to stroke your ego too much, I don't think it's that hard to do.
Yeah. It was just this is a very disappointing film. But Hugo Weaving did look good in it.
Let's talk a little bit about the main man. And I took probably too harsh of a dig at him earlier with his phoning it in, but clearly I don't think his heart was in this one. And I can't blame him because it just feels like, well, we need bad guy. Can you be bad guy? He's like, well, yeah, I can be bad guy. I've been bad guy many times. What type of bad guy?
bad guy. You want to be bad guy.
How about number 2 bad guy? You haven't been number 2 bad guy. You have to answer to this guy, kind of.
Well, he's the ambitious, but he believes that he's freaking, what's his name from Breaking Bad? White.
Oh yeah, Walter White. I can see that.
I'm doing it for my family.
Yeah, I'm doing
no,
this.
you're not.
No,
you're
you're
doing it for power.
Because like the guy he answers to the few times in the movie is one of the very few things I looked up from the book was apparently they were both like the bad guy in the book, and in the movie it's like, well, we just have Hugo Weaving. We only need Hugo Weaving. And
So the other guy knew that he was making a bomb in the book.
yeah.
Oh.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they forgot to suss out, like they forgot to get rid of the other guy in like the drafting of this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you want to stick with Hugo Weaving as the bad guy, just leave him be the bad guy. This weird, like, ambitious takeover plot is just nothing. It's a nothing thing.
And it just smacks of like for me, the most frustrating thing of pretty much every YA movie I've ever seen of like, well, we just need to get everything from the book in here though. So that guy's a character in the book, so he needs to be in the movie. And it's like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
And
you can combine them. They'll work fine. If you have a book, that's great. You have all the time in the world to flesh these characters out. In a movie that you're clearly trying to keep to a nice trim 2 hours,
get rid of the characters.
get rid of the characters. Just fucking lose them.
Yeah. And just his character, like you said, he phoned it in a little bit, but I still think he tried because it's Hugo Weaving. He's a professional, good actor, so he's not going to completely phone it in.
I think phoning it in was way too harsh of an assessment. I just don't think it was his best performance, and I don't knock him for that.
Very little to work with.
Exactly. That's what I mentioned earlier. He had a pile of poo.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
nothing for him to work with.
And it just because you don't get any backstory on his character.
No.
Like,
You get a hint that she might be Hester's dad.
that he's probably Hester's dad, but that makes you wonder whether or not the blonde girl is also Hester's sister, because you don't really know what their age difference is, and Hester's mom is apparently not in the picture. They don't mention her having a mom at all.
No. Well, just in that flashback where like we see like Hester with.
With Hester, yes, but
Yeah.
not with the blonde girl.
Oh no,
Valentine's
yeah,
daughter.
yeah, no idea. Who.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You have no
misunderstood.
idea what happened to her mother, if she ever existed.
Yeah, there's a line where the other daughter, she pauses when she says, "You're not my father," or something like that. She disowns him, but then she's like, "At least not anymore after this." And the pause was enough to be like, "You could stop right there." I don't believe for a
Yeah.
second you're related.
But I guess she would be Hester's half sister. I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like the blonde girl in this movie is another character. I'm like, you can just get rid of her. Like I don't know what she's doing
her
here.
and her slight love interest mechanical friend who
Totally
got her.
forgot about him again.
Yeah, he never even comes
Oh,
back.
what
after
was
he
it,
helps her
Beavis?
sneak in.
Yeah, is it Beavis?
It's Beavis. Jandy and I had a laugh about that for about a full 5 minutes, was it? Because it was like, well, where's Butthead?
Yeah,
And
they
we were
had-
distracted from the movie.
His character felt like he was gonna bring in like societal casting or casting which level of society you can exist in, like issues.
Yeah.
But then they just drop him. They drop everything about that.
Did he die? Like I don't remember why he stopped being in the movie.
When they stop being sneaky, that he's gone. Like they just
Yeah.
don't show him again.
He just fucking
he leaves.
disappears.
I mean, you
Yeah,
don't
he
even
leaves.
see her again until the very end when she confronts her dad for a moment.
And she just kind of pops up in a courtyard like, "What's up? I'm here."
Yeah.
Right.
And then he goes, "We should leave," and she goes, "No." And he's like, okay, you're my daughter. I'll just leave you.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll fly away.
Yeah, come with me, daughter. Peace.
Yeah, it's...
And to bring this
Okay.
around to Hugo Weaving, so at the same time, it's like when he says it, it seems less like bullshit. Like as a testament to even when he's quote unquote phoning it in or not, doesn't have a lot to work with. I still enjoy watching him, and even when his lines are complete dreck and that scene is just terrible, I'm like, hey, you're Hugo Weaving. I enjoy you in this. It was a weird kind of roller coaster there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think when he's like trying to tell his daughter, I guess, that she needs to come with him, it doesn't feel like a fake scene. Like, come with me if you want to live. Like, it's legit. But that's where, like, he just circling back to like the screenwriting and the directing, that he had nothing to work with. All right, so you're gonna get your daughter to come with you. You need your daughter to come with you. All right, and then she's gonna say no, and you're gonna be cool with it. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
So he tries, like he does. All right, so I need her to come with me. Got it. And then she's gonna say no, and I'm just cool. Okay, are you sure that's what you want? Yep, I got it. I've done storyboards. I'm being really mean to this director, and I apologize. He's done better than I have in my directing career. I'll give him that much. Again, being mean to him, I can't help myself.
Yeah. And it still amazes me that the screenplay is listed by being with Fran Walsh and Peter Jackson. And one of the things that I always praised Peter Jackson about is knowing what to trim out of a script. Because he cut a lot of stuff out of Lord of the Rings, and then he switched other things around to make it work better in a cohesive narrative.
Not in a cohesive.
Yeah, I don't think he was that involved with this, to be honest.
I mean,
He was supposed to direct it at first.
He was supposed to, yeah, but then like he's only listening to like producing, and yeah, he got this Christian Rivers guy to do it, and
yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think he did much with this, to be honest.
I'm not sure what he has
are we
screenplay
saying
by,
that
so he definitely
screenplay is by Philippa Bowens.
he might have written the first draft. I'm not really sure like how it all worked out, because like the other thing you have to remember
the three of them worked on Lord of the Rings, all of them, like Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson. They're kind of a trifecta for their stuff, but
so it is just kind of like.
So this is their misstep.
For sure. Well, you have the Hobbit trilogy as well.
The Hobbit trilogy still had some good things in it.
Yeah, the second movie was okay.
The last movie was unnecessary.
And the first one was just the most over-bloated piece of shit.
It had a really cool musical moment.
It did. And it was like 3 hours long. It needed to be maybe an hour and a half. That movie was a goddamn mess. But like getting back to the Peter Jackson of it all, like you are right. He was very good at trying to take the Lord of the Rings trilogy of those 3 books and going, these things need to be movies, not books. Mm-hmm. He knew exactly what to keep, what to lose, what to move. It still annoys me that now I'm gonna forget her name. Shelob is in the 3rd movie and not the 2nd one, because it's just in my head. I'm like, no, that's the final of Two Towers. Like that's how Two Towers end. She shouldn't be in the 3rd act of fucking Return of the King. And like my book brain is just going nuts. But if you look at it from just the film point of view, it's like,
it's good.
No, Peter Jackson was right on the money. That was the right call.
And he lost it with this movie in that regard.
This movie is the exact opposite of that. And maybe if I were to read the book, I'm like, oh, he did keep the good stuff. I don't know. But people seem to like the books. From what I remember, they were a pretty popular series there for a minute. So maybe this is the good stuff, and it's just clearly not for the 3 of us.
Or it's just not meant to be in a movie.
Honestly, and this is going to be more of a dig. This is going to be more of a dig than I intended to be, because I actually enjoyed the setting of this. It's like the garbage Avatar movie, The Last Airbender, where like there's a very kinship in the way they handled these, and it seems like they condensed everything just to get as much as they could into this movie to just get it all through. And the result is like, what's this now? What's this? You blink and you miss it. The reason to care. There it went. Got eaten by the city. And there's like this rush just to get through all the plots that you have to get through. And I think at the end of this movie, I said to Jandy that like this would have been a great like 4 to 6 season like prestige show on like HBO or something along those lines, where it was like, the first season, maybe we get used to the idea that maybe London isn't great. The second season, suddenly we're airborne, Airhaven, like spread this out. Like I kept thinking that the whole time through this. And even with Last Airbender and these other movies that try to really adapt everything into the one unit.
Yeah, I agree with you on the taking the time, but for me the bigger problem is I don't give a shit about this story. Like, I want to see the world. I think there are amazing stories you can tell in the world they came up with. I think the director, the writer, everybody involved did a great job at making a world that I find interesting. I just don't care at all about the story. So even if they'd spread it out, it just would have been a very, very long story in a world I still don't care about.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have included any of the plot, or at least have done so, like, obliquely. Like, suddenly, hey, this city's so great, oh, now it's not so great, what happened? Like, go explore that way. Like, spend time with the people in the world. Is this a world of people, or is this a world of CGI machines that look really cool?
Yeah, because
like, at certain points in this movie, you have people cheering. The Londoners are cheering as they're absorbing these cities and breaking down the wall. And I'm like, hey, you could have put commentary in there. Most YA books have some element of commentary that you want to get through.
Yeah, like, are the Londoners bad people? Are they brainwashed? Are they just like, why are they cheering? Like, it seems like they're cheering in the beginning of the movie, like when the little town's getting away. It seems like, yeah, get away, good for you guys. Not Heroes London. And then they start catching up, like, yeah, get him, fuck him. It's like, wait.
Yeah, I had to look this up because in the movie it's just a line of dialogue where they're like, we're running out of resources because they're from their distance from the home base. In the book, London, this mechanical city is all that's left. Like, they have only the resources that they can claim. If they don't absorb these cities, they die. So there's a life and death thing with London on wheels here that the books play with. So it's a little bit more like, hey, we get to eat, or we get supplies, we get resources. So if you know the book, you know why they're cheering. But in the movie, it's just like, what?
I feel like just taking the stuff that people are carrying and then just sawing it into pieces after that is not a great way to get resources.
Yeah, they no.
Yeah. I feel like maybe you should just dismantle it and actually use all of it and not just chop it up in little bits.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Okay, so there's something I want to circle back to because I don't feel like I yelled about it enough yet, and it's going to bother me if I don't go back to it. Shrike is, for me, the most frustrating thing in this movie. And
they sounded way more interesting in the Wikipedia.
You can tell me everything about the book. I'm not going to read the book.
Yeah.
I'm never going to read the book. I've only experienced the movie, so I'm going to judge it on the movie.
Right.
In the movie, the character Shrike is a goddamn waste of time.
It is.
Yeah.
He is.
Like, it makes the whole purpose for him, at least as far as the movie is concerned, is to throw out a line of, are they starting a relationship? Maybe. And to explain why she didn't die while not living in a city. That one I could have been with, she learned how to scavenge. Done. Okay, got it. And is she falling in love with him?
That was assumed.
Yeah, it's a YA movie. Got it. They're in love. Everything else, we spent half an hour with this fucker. We killed an entire, city's worth of people, all because she wouldn't have a conversation. 2 cities worth of people.
Because they started
That's
having
right.
a fight at that slaver's place.
Yep. Like, they just leave bodies in their wake, and at the end of all of this fucking nonsense, we're supposed to feel sorry for him. Mm-hmm. Like, I have never seen something in a movie just such an egregious waste of time and character. Like, I'm still just baffled by it. And to get somebody like Stephen Lang, who is just an amazing character actor. If you haven't seen Don't Breathe, as long as you're into horror movies, check it out.
Or Terra Nova.
Sure.
I think I was the only person who watched that show.
He is in that show. You're right.
It happened.
It happened. And then it stopped happening very fast.
I think I only got 14 episodes.
It didn't finish the first season.
Yeah, I was very confused through a lot of Shrike's whole thing. Because Shrike's whole thing and the whole, I want to turn you into a machine so you don't feel, there's a lot of things you can do with that in a movie by itself as a whole theme that just, we're not going to do that. He's just going to make sure that she gets to Air City so we can burn it down. We're going to make sure that she leaves Slaver area because she's just chilling there and not doing anything for herself. Like, we got to get everyone moving. So he's the fire under everyone's ass, but he makes no sense.
But the cherry on top of all of this is there is a lot of very interesting stuff you could do with a character like Shrike, and they've done it in a show that spanned about 57 years now called Doctor Who. He's a fucking Cyberman. And it's just that's it.
Yeah.
And there's so many things in this movie where it's
kind of his emotional motivations is very cop.
RoboCop?
RoboCop.
Sure, RoboCop, Cyberman.
I remember I had a child.
Yeah, but he doesn't want you to be like them, and that's the difference between the Cybermen and Shrike, and then
Yeah.
RoboCop. RoboCop's like, this was a bad deal. You shouldn't do this. And the Cybermen are like, sign up, man. You get to live forever. No more emotions. It's good to go. And that's what Shrike is doing too. Yeah. He's like, no. You need to be like me. And it's just, there's so many things in this movie where I'm like, I've seen this done better everywhere else. It's not an original idea. It's been done before. It's been done to death. And every other time, it's been done better. So I'm just left incredibly infuriated. And for me, it's just like that Shrike of it all. And especially at the end when it's just like, he's just gonna fucking die.
I had to pause and double check what happened because it was like, wait, did like a piece of shrapnel get his heart? What happened?
He's just gonna fall over.
He let go of his adrenaline, I guess.
He died of a broken heart that he doesn't supposedly have anymore. Like,
And then his eyes turned real. It was very much a General Grievous thing. I was like, wait, there's a real person inside this thing too.
And I'm just left going like, so. Wait, is he sympathetic? He just murdered 2 towns.
Yeah.
And why are we still rooting for her when all she had to do is be like, no, I'm in love with this guy. And he'd be like, oh, okay, I'll die then. How many people's blood is on your hands now? Like, you're the hero of this movie.
Or just, even beyond the love thing, just say, I'm sorry, I broke my promise. I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
It's a very simple thing to say to someone who raised you.
And even the promise scene was just kind of like, that was the promise? You should be like me.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, when it it was like an and moment for me. I was like, her? But but to what you said, Chewie, when like she could have said something to him. That's her whole problem as a character. She should have done something, said something. Everything she's such a not like she's not a great character at all.
No.
The main character of this.
She tries doing something right away. She does stab Valentine.
She is very proactive in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
But then it's like the movie forgot about the first 10 minutes for the remainder. And it's just like she doesn't say what needs to be said. I mean, I guess until the end when she's like, I want to go with you. But I was like, oh, she speaks again. Like,
it's not great.
It was no.
It's a disappointing film.
No, in a week where I had to watch 12 Friday the 13th movies, and I'm a diehard fan of that franchise, but watching 12 of them in a week is a lot. This was supposed to be like something different than just, bad acting and teenagers dying. Oops.
Yeah. No, I sure hope this isn't a bad acting with teenagers dying movie.
20s when they made.
At least Kevin Bacon's in Friday the 13th.
We can't even really talk about this movie for 45 minutes.
No, I'm running out of gas.
Yeah,
and we've been going for, we just had 5 minutes of preamble in the beginning, so we've been talking for a little over half an hour, and I'm fucking toast on this. I think I'm ready to wrap this up. John, do you have anything else you really want to talk about on this one?
No, I mean, other than a long drawn out sigh for maybe another 10 minutes if we want.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wants to go back and rewatch City of Ember.
Ooh, that'd be better. I have a feeling all of our double features will be a lot.
That wasn't a very good movie either, but
No.
it was better.
Oh, random, just since we're circling the drain on this.
Yes.
Is that Shrike that narrated the beginning of this?
I don't even remember there was
Holy
a
fuck.
There was
I
a
forgot about
gravelly
the
voice at the beginning.
I think it was Shrike. I think you're right.
What?
Yeah, because how can he narrate it when he's dead? Again, it's just another thing on top. Because I thought the voiceover would something like that gives a sense of epicness. Because with the Lord of the Rings, you have Galadriel being like, 9 rings were made, and it's so epic. And Wingnut Film shows up, and then you've got this gravelly voice being like, I forgot what he said. Important epic shit. And with Wingnut Films underneath, I'm like, yeah, okay, we're in for an epic. This is great. And then as Shrike died, I was like, that's his voice, though.
Yeah.
That was his voice at the beginning.
Peter Jackson has made 4 movies that I'm like, not for me. And it's the Hobbit trilogy and
this one.
And now this one.
Not great.
everything else I'm usually at least on board for. Like even like some of his older like horror movie stuff. Like Bad Taste is not a great movie, but it's enjoyable for what it is. But man, this one, like give me the lovely bones.
Yeah, and also and ultimately what this movie does, and movies like this, is just makes it harder for other movies in sci-fi fantasy to get made that aren't in the main, like the Marvel or the Star Wars or things like that. It just makes it harder for these to get made, and then when they do make them, they have to be rushed.
Yeah, and
like
then
this. So then it's like a never-ending cycle, and we just don't get new things. And I didn't realize how much I was itching for something fantasy-based that was a movie that was new and something I hadn't seen or felt before.
They just need to get their shit together and make Seven to Eternity. If you don't know what Seven to Eternity is, be sure to check out the comic book, Seven to Eternity by Rick Remender. By far, at least in my humble opinion, the best fantasy sci-fi comic book of the past 10 years. Fucking amazing. Would have been a much better movie than this. Actually, there is a lot of crossover with the world and Air Cities and whatnot. They could look similar.
Air cities are not a particularly unique idea.
It's very steampunky. And steampunk just never does well in cinema.
I mean, it was in the Jetsons.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
but also,
very different Air Cities than the
but
Jetsons.
Still.
Sure, yes. Cloud City as well. I get it. If you're in sci-fi, there are Cloud Cities.
Honestly, if you're thinking about watching this, I would honestly recommend...
Well, wait for double features, because that might work for that.
Okay.
Let's do quotes if you have any. I'll take favorite part, because this movie's quotes are just bananas. So if you don't have a favorite quote, a favorite part will work.
All right. I still have to find one, so go ahead.
I'm just going to go... Nah, I can't. I was going to go with the opening action sequence, because it's really cool, but the music is just so grating. It just took me right out of the scene. Like, I was annoyed throughout. So I'm going to go with... I'm just going to pick a line... You know, fuck it. I'm gonna go with my favorite part being when I'm forgetting his name. Shrike dies. When he just quits. Oh,
this movie sucks. I quit.
Fuck it. I'm out.
Bye.
Because I get it. It's like I'd rather die than continue being in this movie. I'm good.
I like the part where Valentine yells at his daughter, "You don't even know me," or "You don't really know me," or whichever way he says it. I'm like, well, are you insulted by that? It feels like you were trying to hide everything from her.
So you succeeded? You should be elated. Dude.
Your daughter is the YA character here, dude. Like, you need to stop acting like a teenager. You don't know me.
So, what?
See, now I want a body switching movie where you got Hugo Weaving and a YA protagonist.
Oh my god, that'd be... Now there's a role Hugo Weaving would crush.
Yeah.
Sign me up for 8 tickets on the day of for that.
I'm going every fucking showing, man.
I'll take 8. So for me, what probably speaks to the overall movie, but there's a gag, a Minions gag that I thought was unintentionally funny, but that stuck with me for the entire movie because of just how it derailed the movie for me in a lot of ways, humor-wise. The movie tried to be very funny in the beginning while being action-packed. It's the Phantom Menace problem, where it's dramatic, funny, like, but just weirdly cut and weirdly edited. And that scene comes up as like, these were their gods, and it was the two of the minions, and I like did a spit take.
The thing is, like, that is another thing that I looked up while watching the movie. In the book, it's supposed to be Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, it's a Universal movie, so now it has to be Minions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That joke doesn't work quite as well.
No.
Right.
It's cute.
Right.
It's cute.
Yeah. It pulls you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got a spit take from John.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another one. It was like people spent too much time on their screens, and then they show an iPhone, and it was like, oh god. And then it gets worse from there. But still, just that moment, it was like, just an odd way to start this movie. I got serious Phantom Menace flashbacks.
I could see that.
So
all right,
maybe a notable moment, not necessarily favorite.
I'll take it. Double features this week. If you have to watch this movie again, what will you watch it with? Dun, dun, dun.
I'll just go with City of Ember, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing where we're in a city post-apocalyptic. We're running out of resources. We need to figure something out. And the older men are bad. Except it's more comedic with Bill Murray playing the buffoon mayor who's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little bit of a different way. I'm going to stay in the YA world, but I'm going to...
It's a YA story.
Oh, I guess that's true. Mine's going to be... It's going to be a mixed bag, if you will. Far better series, probably the worst movie of the series, because I think they would match better with this one. I'm going with Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Not 100% on that title. Is that right? It sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something Dawn Treader. I thought it was Voyage of. I could be wrong. I only saw it once. It didn't really stick with me. I'm just kind of like, oh, so you guys you're not even really trying anymore? You're just going to pump this thing out? This part's really pretty. Oh, look at that. That's really pretty. This movie's still awful, and I never really want to come back to it. So I had a very similar vibe going on with this one of like, oh, just not even going to try? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, good job there. Oh, no, the movie's starting up again.
A bummer. Yeah, which is too bad because we were reading the Narnia books to Karina earlier in the year, and I was doing other work, so I could only overhear, and it just sounded so much better in the book. And then I've read up on Voyage. And that was even a projectionist during the first one, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and it was just like, oh, wow, you guys just want to get this movie out, don't you?
The movie was just so close to being good. All of them were, well, no, Dawn Treader I didn't really like it at all. But
who financed them? I remember hearing that it was like a private person or something.
I don't remember. Those movies, they tried. they tried.
They tried. As far as like movies to watch with it, I think I would put this movie first, and then to kind of cure yourself of it, but also still get a taste of a cool world that doesn't necessarily it doesn't really handle its characters that well. Alita, Battle Angel, I would do with this, because at least that one has a little bit more excitement plot wise, and actually, I think we generally liked that one a little bit better.
Yeah, Alita was more fun.
Yeah, but it still has some of the similar problems. Great world, really compacted plot. That
sure.
And the girl just doesn't know who her dad is, really.
Right, and about old men being awful, sort of thing. So it all fits in the same theme, but at least you're going to end on a little bit more of an excitement than this. So like this is kind of the slower pick that you put in the first part of a two-part, like a double feature, and then you got the exciting one after.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, at least Alita might have the similar problems, but it handles them better.
Yeah.
For the most part. It still has that weird, like, oh, so it's just going to end now?
Yeah.
This is where the story ends? Oh, look, Edward Norton.
It was supposed to get a sequel.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, like, I think the hope was that...
It's not going to do anything with it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was the hope for Mortal Engines, I can only assume, is that they wanted to get the other books made at all costs, just to get a franchise going. There's a lot of desperation to get something going with this and with Alita as well, and it's too bad. I liked both worlds, the worlds themselves, immensely.
Yeah, the only difference that I would give, the only edge I'd give to Alita over this is if they made a sequel to Alita, I'd go see it. This one, I'm good. I am good. Yeah. I'm out. I'm taking the Shriek exit.
The Shrike exit.
Shrike exit. I kept on
Wabash and Airhaven, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Done.
This sucks.
Now I want to make a YouTube series of videos of shriking. You're in line at the Starbucks and we're out of mochas. I'm done.
Be like
Shrike.
when someone brings me chicken nuggets but doesn't bring me the sauce.
Here's your barbecue
Shrike.
sauce. I wanted sweet and sour. Shrike.
You forgot the proper paperwork for the DMV here. Well, Shrike.
You're just go to the back of the line. I'm just going to Shrike instead. You're going to what? No! Oh my God. Shriking is now my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn everything down and I'm going to lay down.
I'm going to burn everything down and I'm just going to roll over and die. World is on fire. I'm done.
Bye.
Speaking of striking, let's get out of this episode. We're going to do a quick round of plugs and we're going to say goodbye. Tomorrow, be sure to tune into the Welcome to You Are Doomed feed, where we'll be having the end-all, be-all, Friday the 13th ranking episode. I'm incredibly excited for it. Should be a lot of fun. Me, Matt, and our good friend are all going to be chatting about all 12 movies in the series, all the final girls, all the masks, all the kills. For the most part, there are like, God, what do they say? 19,000 kills by Jason. So it's like, I don't remember the exact number, but he kills a whole fucking city in Jason X. And the writer went, I have a population for that city, so people can have a nerdy kill count for Jason. Anyhow, so be sure to tune in tomorrow to the Welcome to Your Doom feed for that episode. John?
Yeah, Demon Days, our weekly tabletop role-playing podcast. Get to it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening to this episode. Hopefully we didn't just, crush your spirits with like, I love that book and that movie.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't for us. I'm sure we've liked movies that you've hated. So,
We usually do like more things that people hate.
I still like Batman vs. Superman. What can I say?
I still think Super Mario Brothers is a legitly well-crafted, imaginative a reinterpretation of a video game.
Bye.
It's good.
I was just going to say bye. I do like that movie.
With the source material, it is amazing. Here's two guys. They jump on things.
Bye. Bye.
See you later, bozos.